In this video, we're going to talk about how to use even and odd function to find the value of the trigonometry function. Okay, now let's do a quick recap. What is even function? Well, even function is the function such as y equals to x squared, which is our quadratic function. What happened to the function is if you can find a random point on the function A, you will find that this is going to be symmetric over the y-axis. You will have a point B, which gives you the value negative x, y. So the y value will remain the same when x take negative. So by definition, what we learned in Math 114.1 pre-calculus, even function, we will have fx equals to f of negative x. Because the fx is the y value, that means even though when we take the negative x, we will still get the same y value. So, odd function. Odd function, we have the most common odd function is the quadratic function. So what does quadratic function look like? Quadratic function is here, and the not quadratic function, this is cubic function. So cubic function is symmetric over the origin. That means if you find a point in here, point 8, x and y, then you will find a point B in here, symmetric over the origin. So your value will be negative x and then negative y. So this is our odd function. By definition, we have odd function is f of negative x is equal to the negative fx. Or sometimes you will see it right in this way. Fx is equal to negative f of negative x. They're the same. That means you divided negative 1 on both sides. So that means the y value for the negative sign will switch. Okay, so here is a quick review from Math 114.1. Now, that is first proposition that we have is sine function. If a sine function, that means we also have a tangent function. And the sine function, the reciprocal of sine function, we will have a cosecant function. The reciprocal of a tangent function, we have a cotangent function. These four are odd function. In fact, all you need to remember is sine and tangent because the reciprocal function should be the same. And then the only even function is our cosine function. If you have a cosine function, that means your secant function are the same, are even function. Okay, I'll show you some example. What does that mean? So, for example, if our secant t is equal to 2, I want you to find secant negative t. So now let's take a look. Our cosine and secant function are even function. Even function means what? Well, since our secant function is even function, by the definition of even function, we have secant t is equal to secant negative t, right? So that means secant t is equal to what? It's given, it's equals to 2. So that means our secant negative t is equals to negative 2. Done. Here is another example. Second example. If cosecant theta is equal to 2, I want you to find cosecant negative theta. So our cosecant function is an odd function. So that means, here's our solve, since our cosecant theta is an odd function, that means cosecant negative theta is equal to negative cosecant theta function, right? And our cosecant function is equal to 2. So that means negative cosecant function is equal to negative 2. So now we solve it. So that means our cosecant negative theta is equal to negative 2. That's it. That's how the application of the cosecant, the odd and even function.